Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to welcome Mike Mullis, and he is the author of DUMALA. Mike, can you share with us a little bit about your book?
Yes, I can. First of all, I just want to say that when you're working and creating science fiction, you can really kind of let your mind just kind of really wander and be as creative as you would like. So there's really no boundaries.
Yeah.
So the story of Dumala, it starts off as a hurricane. Actually starts brewing at a time of year that it's not even hurricane season. So and then it originates in a geographical location of the planet that's never spawned a hurricane. So right
Wow.
off the bat in the story, the people are like, "Wow, what's going on down there?" So anyway, the hurricane kind of makes its way towards the United States, and one girl that's been tracking the storm, she notices that instead of one eye, it has three distinct eyes within the storm.
Wow.
So the storm makes its way towards the United States, and when it gets close to the coast, it starts making these erratic movements. And everywhere that it does that, these lost, sunken Spanish galleons that have never been found all of a sudden start rising to the surface. So it's kind of like instinctively the storm kind of knows where everything's at.
Mm-hmm.
So the storm makes its way into the Gulf of Mexico, and the highest ever recorded um, is a Category 5. This storm morphs into a Category 7.
Wow.
So people are like, "Oh my gosh, wherever this thing comes ashore, it's gonna be annihilation."
Oh my gosh.
So as the storm gets into the Gulf, it stops moving in a forward direction. It just stops, but it's actually still spinning.
Mm-hmm.
So there's millions of people along the coast from the Florida Keys all the way down to Texas, and reporters are out on the coast, and everybody's talking like, "Oh my gosh, this what's going on?" Anyway, the sound that's being emitted from the storm, because it's so large,
Mm-hmm.
it gives people the chills. They're telling reporters, "I don't know, that sound is just really unnerving." Anyway, one guy in the story, he's a language professor. He's been studying ancient Mayan culture and dialect
Uh-huh.
and language, and he says that sound that we hear is a form of communication. So one reporter says, "Oh, really? Well, what's it saying?" And he says, "Well, the storm says that the planet is in bad shape, and it's the storm is actually here to actually do battle with man to take Earth back from man because man has polluted everything. Man
Wow.
has polluted the oceans and the soil and the atmosphere and the stratosphere and everything else." So
Mm-hmm.
anyway, within the story, the guy says the storm said it's here to destroy, or it can heal.
Mm-hmm.
People are like, how is something that massive and that destructive? It's impossible. It could heal anything.
Mm-hmm.
So skipping back a few years, actually skipping back 65 million years ago,
Mm-hmm.
when the asteroid hit down around the Yucatan Peninsula, um, what people didn't know and realize was buried in the mantle of the earth for that many years was some kind of healing, miraculous powder, or crystals, or dust from a far off galaxy that was deposited that long ago. Well, the hurricane actually starts disappearing below the waves down around the Yucatan Peninsula,
Mm-hmm.
and it drills into the core of the earth, and it extracts that dust, that powder, those healing crystals. And then what it does, it actually surrounds a group of kids, young kids, are actually cancer patients that are out on an outing to the beach. Who knows how much time they have left.
Uh-huh.
So it surrounds them. And what happens next is the first responders can't get into the children, and but inside the eye of the storm, the kids are like totally at peace. They're smelling all of the flowers of the earth all rolled into one.
Mm-hmm.
They're hearing the most beautiful melodic melodies that they've ever heard,
Mm-hmm.
and they're seeing all the vivid colors in the color spectrum that they've ever witnessed. And
Wow.
so the first responders are thinking, "Oh my gosh, they're dying in there," but the kids are like totally. And what they don't know is while this storm is going around the children, they are actually inhaling, breathing in this dust from a far off galaxy that was deposited 65 million years ago. So finally, the storm dissipates, and
Hmm.
all the first responders run in, and they're expecting to find just carnage. But what
Yeah.
they find is the kids are laughing, they're totally fine, and they said they've never felt better. And then the first responders are checking them out, and the one kid says, "Hey, look at Billy over there. He's been in a wheelchair for 2 years, and he's up walking around.
Oh
We
my.
don't know what's going on." And look at Lisa. She's had cancer. She hadn't had hair for 6 months, and you can actually see little sprouts of hair actually coming out of her hair follicles. So now people realize, oh my gosh, this this storm, this hurricane or whatever it is, it does have the power to heal.
Wow.
So that's kind of like the crux of the story.
Wow, this sounds so good. First of all, I love science fiction, so this
Me
is
too.
right
Me
up my
too.
alley.
Yeah.
So you've got this hurricane that originates from, this area where hurricanes don't usually originate, and then it's communicating, and then it has this healing powder that is healing children with cancer and one that couldn't walk. I This is amazing. It's such a great story, Mike.
Thank you.
What was your inspiration for writing it?
Well, several inspirations. The planet, we have one planet, Heather, and we have to take really good care of it.
Yes.
And if the planet gets in bad shape, what do we do? So I was trying to incorporate, also Make a Wish. I'm involved with Make a Wish, and I was thinking, well, how can I incorporate that in to having kids miraculously healed? So that's how I came up with the idea
Mhm.
of having the kids, healed by a miraculous storm of all things. So, to help children to have a full life is something that I wanted to kind of put out there,
Yeah.
and just the fact that we have one planet, so we any little thing that we can do to help the children and to help the planet, I'm all for it. I'm not like an environmentalist, but I think all of us are kind of an environmentalist in a way.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's true. You're absolutely right. We only have one planet, and we get to choose how we treat it. So I love that you're talking about that in this book. Mike, is there anything else you want to share about the book or the messages within the book or even anything about yourself?
Yes. Actually, my co-writer, Joyce Marie Taylor, she's not a big get in front of the camera type of a person. So she said, "No, I'm just gonna you handle all of that." And anyway, I want to give a shout out to Joyce, Joyce Marie Taylor. She was my co-writer on this book, and yeah, we had a lot of fun writing it. And like I said, science fiction, you can really you don't have any boundaries. You can just
Hmm.
kind of stretch it out and run with it and see where it goes. So, but yeah, I have some quotes and some sayings. One of them is the past is in your head, and the future is in your hands.
Ooh, I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And another good one is a verse from the Bible. It actually says, "God can open doors that no man can close, and but
Mhm.
God can also close doors that no man can open." And
Mm. Yeah.
anyway, that's some powerful stuff right there.
Yes. Well, this sounds like a great book, Mike. Thank you so much for sharing. Super exciting.
Thanks.
For anybody who's interested in picking up a copy, again, it's Mike Mullis, and the title is DUMALA. You
Yep.
can get it on barnesandnoble.com, amazon.com, Apple Books. It's also available on audiobook as well. So thank you so much, Mike, for being with us today.
Thanks for having me, Heather. You did a great job.
Thank you.
You're welcome.